Hey guys, Frank Cava, experienceinvestor.com here, and I'm once again standing in front of 6203 Galaxie Road in Richmond, Virginia. Now this is our third video in front of this home. First one, it was a complete dilapidated mess. The second one, we are kind of in the middle of construction, and now we are completely finished. You can see the first two videos were in the summer, we've entered into the fall, but you can also tell by the fact that there's no longer a jungle around me, we've done the rehab work. What we're gonna look at today is the finished product. And we want to really talk about, like we have in the first two videos of this home, about what the home needs to look like to sell well, and then also give the people some kind of a reward if they do purchase a home from you. So without much further ado, we're going to stop here, head inside, and we'll talk a little bit more. Okay, so now we're inside the home, and what I want to talk to you today about is a few things. First of all, it's how did we go from where we started to where we are? And then, from when we get to a finished place, how do we take it from a finished place to actually getting a sale and getting a very happy person that's going to buy the home? So let's just talk about what's behind me. It's pretty obvious, right? I'm standing in front of a very cool architectural feature. Now, I don't know about you, but I like those $20 hamburgers they have in every city in America, and it seems like the trend in the last 5 or 10 years has been the really cool distressed woods. So what I've talked about more than one time is I have people on staff or that I trust that work as independent contractors who are very, very, very smart. So about 6 months ago, I asked one of our designers, hey Michelle, I want to do a cool pop feature in the house, and I want it to look like those really expensive hamburger places, and maybe we can do something fun with it. What she told me was basically how we got to this wall here. We found some wood, we got some stain, we put it up in a few key locations, and what we came to is a really cool look that really picks up well in photographs, and I'm going to come back to that in a second. The most important thing about having good, smart people around you is you don't always have to be a genius. And I have to tell you, as a business owner, it's a huge relief. So as we talk about team building, surrounding yourself with really smart people, great realtors, great designers, great contractors, the better team you have around you, the smarter everyone thinks you are, because you've got great decision makers that surround you. And now, like everyone else, I have a bit of an ego, but it's not so big where I can't look at somebody else who's smart and say, hey, you're great at this, you go and run. Now I can provide direction or budget, but I let really smart people make decisions. Now if you're getting into this business and you're relatively new, I recommend exactly that course for you. Find smart people, leverage their knowledge, and then build a team with them. That's how I ended up with this cool pop feature. Now, the reason we wanted a cool pop feature like this, and the reason we build our homes the way that we do, is we want them to be current and we want them to sell, and we want them to sell quickly. We've talked about this before. People shop for homes nowadays on their cell phones, just like they do everything else. So if a realtor is going to take a couple or some clients out to look at homes, the first thing they're going to do is send them some prospects, and those people are going to comb through them. They're either going to be on their computer, but most likely their cell phone. So the first things they're going to look at are pictures. If you have great pictures, now the pictures can only show so much, but if you have a great house, ultimately with great pictures, you then have, people will put your house towards the top of the list. And what that does for you is it drives buzz, and it drives excitement, and it helps you sell homes very, very quickly. The reason we use the design elements we use is they're current, they look great in film, and it's what the market wants. Now, it's not necessarily what I want or what you want, but it's who your buyer is. So right here in suburban Richmond, this is a cool look. If I was 10 or 15 miles further east, this look would not work. So I'd have to pick something slightly different. So from the selection standpoint, you want to make sure you pick selections that do work for the ultimate buyer. And we did that here. Then you give them something really, really cool. Now, there's two things. You got to get them out, and they have to look at the house, they have to like it, and they have to buy it. That's number one. But if you're going to have satisfied people and you're going to build brand, you have to build a great house, and you have to give people something they're excited about and they'll talk to their friends about. And that's what's cool about this house. When you bring people into it, they get excited, they think it's neat, they say, oh my gosh, what a great house. Those are some of the cool things that you have to do in the process to really build brand, and then you can capitalize on the back end because you start getting a reputation and people want to buy your homes very, very quickly. Now, how does this all work to economics, right? I've told you many times, I'm not a hobbyist, I'm a pro. So the difference between being a hobbyist and a pro is you don't exactly have the layout, or you don't make as much money on it, or it's not a repeatable process. We have those things in place. But what we like to do is have these kind of features, the things that really stand out and will drive the market to us. And the reason we do that is because from an economic standpoint for us, we would rather sell a house in 3 or 4 days, get that money out, and put it into another property than have to sit on a house. There is huge drag on you personally and your business if you have to carry a home. So there's all kinds of stuff. Mowing the grass. If it snows, you have to shovel everything, or you have to have someone do it. You have to pay utilities, taxes. All of that stuff just drains on the bottom line. So what we like to do is price our homes to market at the right price, as we've discussed before, make it so they're irresistible to the market, give people more than they think they should be getting for the money, and then drive the market to us with good photographs and a great project. And if we have those elements, it sells fast, we make more money and can get out pretty quickly. What we're going to talk about in the rest of this home is the features that we talked about up front, right? We said what's going to sell it is going to be a really cool kitchen and this area. And we've redesigned all this to make it flow better. We've also given it a really, really nice owner suite. We've given it a very updated hall bath. Now what you're going to notice in the befores and afters with the hall bath, it's exactly the same layout. All we changed was just the tile. So that's kind of the process that you go through here, is what is the exit strategy? We talked about that. You think about it up front, and then you work backwards until you get to a point where you have a finished product. So that is the strategy. Now let me give you some of the specifics and particulars of this house. When we were buying this home, this house came from a direct mail piece. We bought the house for just under $80,000, which is a pretty good price. When we were comping this property out, meaning looking at comparable values, we thought the home would sell. My sales staff thought the house would sell for about 180 grand. When they brought it to me in our Tuesday meeting, we're going through properties, I looked at it and I was like, you know what? I see an underserved segment of market here. I see up to 180 and then I see over 225. So I thought that if we really pushed the fixtures, we really pushed the finishes, and we made it look really, really nice inside, which I think we have with some of the finishes we've chosen, I thought we could push price. So cost per square foot, I thought we'd be really doing great if it was over 220. So that being the case, we strove for the finishes that we have, and we listed it on the market at $234,900. We sold it in a weekend, 3 days. We had multiple people interested, and we drove a sale very quickly because you cannot find this home for this price around here. Now, cost per foot of this house is much more expensive than anything it competes against, but there are comps that are higher, 250 to over 300, that are close by. It's just a square footage or finishes types of thing. So when you're going for your appraisal, it all works out because there are still values. So I hope that makes sense. You don't want to overbuild to market. But what we had was a 1,550 square foot house, but there were values upwards of about 180, but then way over 220, right? So I looked at the over 220s and said, okay, those are between 1,700 and 2,000 feet with marginal finishes, so I thought we could get here. So we sold it quickly, but then most important, it appraised. And it appraised because we knew that there was that market around us. So if you do it right, you can push. So what does this mean? If I would have sold this house for $200,000, I probably would have scaled back on my finishes. So I would have spent about another, I would have saved 5 to 10 grand. For the sake of argument, let's say we would have saved 5 grand. We ended up making way over $50,000 on this house. So I would have made under like 35. But by simply spending a little bit more money and then pushing the house another 25 grand, we made an extra 15,000 bucks. Now, what does that mean? If you're a flipper, you do this regularly, it just means more money constantly that you can run and grow your business with. If you're a hobbyist or do this 1 or 2 times a year, an extra $10,000 to $15,000 is a significant amount of money. If you do it twice, that's 30 grand. My mom's a school teacher. That's more than she made her first year as a school teacher. So that's real money. So that's what we like to do, is look at from the standpoint of how we're going to provide something for the marketplace. And then as business people, how do we also keep ourselves in business where we can continue to do this? All right, so a couple of other features that we're going to talk about with this home. It's like every other house, right? Bedrooms, bathrooms, you need a place to shower, you need a place to sit and watch the TV every once in a while. You also want to see if you can force some other living spaces. And one of the reasons I think we were able to push price is because of this. We talked about the finishes in the kitchen. We did high-end finishes in the bath. Then we're going to show you some stills of both of those. Not only that, we did an outside patio area. And the reason we did an outside patio area is it gives you another place to live. So when you're looking at the photos or you're going to see the home, it basically gives you another space, okay? Not just like, it's not a room, but it's one more place where people can put things and kind of envision themselves living. So for a very inexpensive price, you can dress up an exterior space, and then if you dress that exterior space up, it gives you inherent value that gets people excited about buying the house. Now, it's very hard to relate value to that exterior space, but it does create emotion. And when you drive emotion up, what happens in a lot of instances is you can get a quicker sale for more money. All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up by just telling you, with a process like this one, in the very beginning, the first video we talked about, we had a vision for this property. Now the vision changed from beginning to end, but we started with a vision and a buyer in mind. We stayed true to that to the middle video and to this video today. And because of that, we took it from where it was to where it is now in a very short period of time, and I think made it quite a nice return. These are the kind of returns that keep me in this business because it's very rewarding and it's lucrative. And at the same time, we have a young family moving in. They're very excited. I don't get to talk to them. I get to talk to the realtor who talks to them. They're all very excited. So these are the kind of things that are win-wins. We make money. They have a great house they're going to enjoy for years. And we build a reputation as a builder and a redeveloper. And that's what's exciting to me. So until next time, I'm signing off. Frank Cava, ExperienceInvestor.com.